December, and welcome to LCJ Live. It is Sunday, December 7th, 2025. Just a few weeks left of the year. The big December releases, it has begun. Normally, this first weekend of December, the weekend after Thanksgiving and everything, usually people want to shop. Usually people want to get an early start on their holiday plans, and studios don't really take advantage of this weekend, or they throw in a bad horror movie. Well, I haven't seen Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but I'll tell you this. One of the, if not the biggest opening weekend ever for a movie in the first weekend of December. Some crazy stats are coming in for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 because we're at $63 million for the weekend. It's fantastic. It's fantastic for movie theaters on a week where movie theaters could use some good news. Listen, I hope that everything, if the Netflix and Warner Brothers deal happens, and we're still a long ways away from it happening, I hope that the theatrical experience is still celebrated. I've said for years, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day in the industry, I said, since COVID started, there is a way for the theaters and the streaming services to continue simultaneously. There's a way for them to both exist, for them to coexist. And really, I was starting to say this once the theaters were coming back and once studios were starting to strategize about how to use the streaming services, how to use the movie theaters, how to bring people back, and how to keep them in theaters while also giving them quality at home. There is a way for them to coexist. And so I hope that's going to be the case if this Netflix Warner Brothers deal happens, for a way for both to coexist and for them to thrive, because we need the theaters and we also need the content at home, all of it, for various reasons. So I hope that happens. But we have a good headline here for the movie theaters in $63 million for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This is not far off from the $80 million of the last one. It opened to $80 million while simultaneously debuting on Peacock. Remember that? In October 2023. But in that case, theaters really won that weekend over the Peacock impact. But my goodness, 80 million. It only totaled 137. So the majority of that total came from opening weekend. We'll have to see what happens with Five Nights at Freddy's 2. But congratulations to Universal, Blumhouse, Emma Tommy. I spoke with her for the first film at New York Comic Con a couple years ago. $63 million. It's a very good opening weekend. It's a really nice number for Blumhouse. Way above. I saw $35 million predictions heading into this weekend, and I thought, that's a little low. That even with 80 million, even if it dropped half, I was thinking at least 50. That 35 felt a little low to me. $63 million. It's fantastic. Sam B. Russell, thanks for being here on LCJ Live. Zootopia 2, huge. Listen, $916 million worldwide on Zootopia 2. That's tremendous. A lot of that money coming from China. Right now, $220.5 million of that coming from North America. It dropped 57% this weekend, which is normal for a movie for the first weekend of December coming off of Thanksgiving. That 57% drop is not a shocker. The Wicked number, we'll get to that in a minute. That's a little bit more concerning. But that 57% drop, $43 million for Zootopia 2 this weekend. Like I said, 220.5. Still got to get to 341 to match the first Zootopia, with David and SpongeBob on the way for December 19. It's going to be interesting if Zootopia 2 can get to that 341 of the first one. But anyway, the first film made $1 billion worldwide. This is easily going to do that. We're already at 916. Congratulations to Disney on another $1 billion movie this year, following Lilo and Stitch, for Zootopia 2, which right now is the third biggest Disney film of the year in North America, behind Lilo and Stitch and the Fantastic Four: First Steps. Yes, Fanmator 101 celebrating the $1 billion of Zootopia 2, which is going to happen within the next few days. We're at 916. We'll see how high it can get. Pete Crooks, Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair, was sold out all day yesterday while we're seeing in the theater. $3.3 million for Kill Bill, in 6th place this weekend. Tarantino, making some headlines this weekend. Let me say this. I have met Quentin Tarantino. I have also met Matthew Lillard. I have not met Paul Dano or Owen Wilson, but I've heard very good things from people in the industry about both of those actors. I think Matthew Lillard's talented. If you need a Paul Dano movie you've never seen, Ruby Sparks is excellent. And Matthew Lillard's a great guy. And Owen Wilson, my gosh, he is Lightning McQueen and so much more, including a new animated film called Charlie the Wonder Dog, which is out in January. But his live action roles too, all his collaborations, talented actors. So yeah, Tarantino's making a lot of headlines, and I don't necessarily agree with what he's saying about these actors. But some people still went to see Kill Bill. I don't know though if those headlines kept some people away, going, maybe I don't need to sit through 4 hours of Kill Bill because of the headlines that Tarantino just made. So maybe it actually would have made a little more money this weekend. We will see. Let's see. Hope we get a third movie of Five Nights at Freddy's or Zootopia. Could get both. Could get Zootopia 3 and Five Nights at Freddy's. Avatar 3 is miserable. Listen, Avatar 3, is it going to make $2 billion? We'll talk about that here in a little bit. James Cameron, yes. So we'll see what happens with Avatar. I want to mention, of course, a legend is turning 100 years old this week on Saturday coming up. Dick Van Dyke will be 100. Happy 100th birthday to Dick Van Dyke. I've got Bert from Mary Poppins here with me on LCJ Live, the Bert Pop, which I found in the last year or two, and really cool. Goes along with the couple Mary Poppins ones I have. I have a Julie Andrews Mary Poppins Pop and an Emily Blunt Mary Poppins Pop. Said pop a lot of times there. But congratulations, happy birthday to Dick Van Dyke. So cool, he won an Emmy in the last year or so, and that 98 Years of Magic special that CBS did a couple years ago was really nice. So happy 100th to a legend in one of my 10 favorite movies of all time, Mary Poppins, Dick Van Dyke. You got Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Mary Poppins Returns, of course, The Dick Van Dyke Show, and so many other incredible roles, television, movies, voice acting. Night at the Museum. Night at the Museum is great. The first one especially, and then he comes back for the third one. But that first Night at the Museum, awesome. Curious George, many other projects from Dick Van Dyke. Happy 100th birthday. All right, let's go to Wicked for Good. Here's the negative headline from the box office this weekend, is that Wicked for Good dropped 73%. 73% for Wicked for Good. Yikes, 16.8 million. It was at, I think, basically the 63 million of Five Nights at Freddy's last weekend was the 63 million that Wicked made. 297 million dollars is not nearly what Universal wants to see for this movie. They want to see a 4 in front of that figure, and I don't know if we're going to get there. It's at 473.2, the first one. That's what the first one made. We're at 297, so we're off by 170-something million dollars domestically, and we're down to 16 million for the third weekend. That's not good. I think it's a case of, this is a darker installment. This is not as good of an installment. This is kind of like I said this about Mamma Mia 2, even though I like Mamma Mia 2 more than Mamma Mia 1. If you go more dramatic, emotional, you don't have all the hits, the ones people sing over and over again, not as much of a joyous experience, you're not going to make as much money. That's what happened with Mamma Mia 2. This is what is happening with Wicked 2. So, yes, it's going to make more than 300 million, but how much higher is it going to go? And Cynthia Erivo got snubbed the other day by Critics' Choice. Ariana Grande nominated for Supporting Actress. The film is up for picture. John M. Chu, who won Director last year from Critics' Choice, didn't even get nominated this time. So we'll see what happens with the Golden Globe nominations tomorrow. But Wicked for Good not having as much of an impact as the first Wicked. Universal's top domestic movie of the year is Jurassic World, and that did 340. If Wicked for Good doesn't get to the 340 of Jurassic World, Universal is going to be very surprised. But that may be the case, and it'll go to Peacock probably before the end of the month, and that'll take away some business. Yeah, I could see this either coming close to that 340 or not getting there, and that is going to surprise a lot of people, but it's based on the quality of the movie and the impact of it for sure. Let's see. Wicked Part 2 wouldn't hit the same. Wicked 2 is out of the Oscar race. Is Miley Cyrus going to take original song? Hey, remember Miley Cyrus got nominated for the Bolt song with John Travolta for the Golden Globe years ago? She almost could have gotten an Oscar nomination for that. That's a good song. Yes, Wicked 2 is losing some steam. What were the critics thinking awarding Chew? I do not share who I vote for award shows. That has always been a thing I have stood by. I do not share who I vote for because that's personal. At least it should be. A lot of people make a bigger deal out of voting for a lot of things than what used to be the case before I was born and even in the last 10, prior to these last 10 or 12 years. So I do not share who I vote for. But I like what John Chu did with the first one more than this one, particularly, as I will say, the best moment in both of the Wicked movies comes in part one when Cynthia and Ariana have their dance moment in the crowd. They're just looking at each other. There is no dialogue. That is the best directed moment of the two films. Yes, there is the For Good moment in Wicked for Good that is really strong at the end. But I would put that second behind the dance and that emotional moment, and that's the best directed moment of part one and of the two films. That is, to me, the standout moment from those two films. International category, Bolt is a great film. I got to interview Susie Essman at the TV station I was at when I was 10 years old. That's how long ago Bolt came out. And yeah, it was great interviewing Susie Essman. She was living in upstate New York and got to meet her at a movie theater after seeing Bolt the second time. She was going with her family. We did an interview for TV. She was in the middle of the run of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it was awesome meeting Susie Essman, who I had seen on Curb. I'd seen her on $1 Million Password with Regis, heard her as Mittens in Bolt, and it was just one of those things where you run into somebody at the movie theater. It's Susie Essman. It's the star of the Disney movie that you're seeing, the big release. It was really fun. She was great. She was terrific. And I hope I get to see her again. Saw her one or two times after that, but I hope I get to see her again soon. I will say this. Susie Essman with one of the great television performances of all time that never got an Emmy nomination. Insanity. After this last season of Curb, she was doing some press. I thought she was getting a nomination for the Career Achievement. She never got an Emmy nomination for Curb, which is just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Because when you think about the greatest comedic performances on television in the history of television, if you don't have Susie Essman in your top 30, you're insane. What she did with that role, no one else could do it. No one else has come close to achieving what she did with that sense. And, one of a kind. One of a kind with that role, that energy, that language that she used. But that character was wild, and she did so much with it. She should have gotten an Emmy nomination for it. Oh, wow. All right, let's get to more of the box office. Jujutsu Kaisen Execution made $10.2 million. Congratulations to Anime. Congratulations to G-Kids. $10.2 million for Jujutsu Kaisen Execution this weekend. Now You See Me, Now You Don't is at $210 million worldwide. It added $3.5 million this weekend. It's at $55.3. We're still behind the $65 million of the last one in North America, which is not great. Not great for Lionsgate. Let's see. Zootopia 3, we'll see. Let's see. Kill Bill I mentioned. Number 7 is Eternity. Now, Eternity only dropped 14%, but that's also because it nearly doubled its theater count. Because theaters were like, okay, we need something new this weekend. Let's grab Eternity. So it added 2.7 million. It's at 9.6. I may catch up on this soon. I've been kind of going back and forth. Do I want to see Eternity? Do I not? I almost saw it as the mystery movie, but I couldn't make it. And I'm like, I've heard things. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. I may catch up on Eternity. It's almost at 10 million for A24. Number 8 is Hamnet, 2.3 million. It's at 4.2. Also had a massive theater expansion this weekend. And Jessie Buckley is probably the front runner for Best Actress as of now this year. She's very good. She's very good in the film. It's a tough movie. I don't think Paul Mescal is great in it. It's a Jessie Buckley performance. And there's a moment with the two kids that's really, really good. It's really emotional. I won't say what it is because I don't want to give anything away, but ooh, when you feel it, you feel it. I mean, when I saw this in October at a film festival screening, everybody was crying through a lot of it. That whole second half, people were just bawling. I remember when I saw All of Us Strangers at that film festival, there was a woman behind me who cried that whole last 45 minutes. People cry in movies. People cry in movies. I get emotional. I've gotten emotional a couple times in movies, but if you think, oh, it's just a stereotype, people cry. People still cry in movies, in movie theaters. Number 9 is Durandar. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. $2 million. And number 10 is Predator Badlands with $1.9 million. It's at 88.3. I think Disney wanted this to get to $100 million. I finally watched Screen Predator Badlands the other night. Excellent visuals. Visuals should be nominated. It could be a Disney-heavy visual effects category this year with Tron, Avatar, Predator and maybe more. Excellent visuals. First 20 minutes, not bad. But once that story expands, it's so standard, it's so predictable, it's so been there, done that, and I lost interest over the course of the whole thing. So I didn't love Predator Badlands. I wanted to get into it. I wanted to like it like I liked the animated film from Hulu earlier this year, Predator Killer of Killers, but Predator Badlands, not a great experience. Um, Wagner Moura coming on strong at Best Actor. Yes, I saw The Secret Agent, a movie I like in an atmospheric sense, but it does not justify its runtime. And that last section does not, just like Hamnet, the last section does not have the impact the filmmakers think it has. I hope Ethan Hawke is an Oscar nominee for Blue Moon. There's some rumblings. He'll get a Golden Globe nomination tomorrow. He very likely will. As we get to the Oscar, I don't know. It's getting tricky to figure some of these things out. Let's see. Warner Bros. Netflix mentioned that at the beginning. I think it's Timmy's to Lose. I saw Marty Supreme. Chalamet's very good. The movie's got problems. The movie is disjointed. It's a lot of goofy stuff. And will the Academy want to reward him? They should have given it to him last year for Bob Dylan. Let's be real. I saw the Adrian Brody headline that he hasn't taken an offer since The Brutalist. But Timothée Chalamet should have won for Bob Dylan for A Complete Unknown. And now here we go again. He's very good, but the movie's got a lot of problems that A Complete Unknown didn't have. So I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see an Ethan Hawke win. I'd love to see a Joel Edgerton win. I'd love to see Hugh Jackman get nominated for Song Sung Blue. He will probably, I'd like to see him get one tomorrow for the Golden Globe nominations. We'll see what happens. Kate Hudson could. I'd love to see Hugh and Kate get nominated. I'd love to see them perform Sweet Caroline with Neil Diamond to open the Oscars. That would be great. We'll see what happens. We got a long ways to go before we get to the Oscars. I want to mention a couple other box office films. Merrily We Roll Along did $1.2 million. We don't have the money on the second weekend of Wake Up Dead Man. The Running Man added $1.1 million. It's at 36.5. Rental Family about $500,000. It's at $9 million for Searchlight. And La Grazia, the film that just doesn't have the power of Pablo Sorrentino's other movies, made $14,000 from one theater in New York City this weekend. It expands starting this Friday. Kelly's kind of awkward. I thought The Brutalist was a snooze. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I screened it one day last year for the award season. I had to devote 3.5 hours. Actually, the screener stopped midway through-ish, so it wasn't just at the halfway point. There was an actual problem with it. It was like 2 hours in, so it was really like 4 hours to 4.5 hours of my time to watch The Brutalist. And in the end, I when the movie ended, I went, there wasn't a lot there. There just wasn't a lot there to The Brutalist. So yeah, Timothée Chalamet should have won. At least he won the SAG award last year. But yeah. Okay. Complete Unknown I thought was very good. He won the SAG award for that, which is now going to be called the Actor Award. It is not the SAG Award anymore. It is the Actor Award. That is happening soon. Here are a lot of movies that are coming out for this week. We have Wake Up Dead Man on Netflix. We have Silent Night, Deadly Night. We also have The Shining in IMAX. We have Rolling Stones in IMAX. We have the 25th anniversary of The Grinch with Jim Carrey. He kind of freaked me out when I was young, the Grinch. It was kind of scary, I thought, when I was very young. We have the 100th celebration for Dick Van Dyke in the theaters. We also have Christina Aguilera doing Christmas in Paris. Christina Aguilera, one of the prominent singers of the last 20-25 years in terms of all her number one hits. The impact of the song You Are Beautiful with Wonder from 2017. That impact has lasted through that. You also have her film role in Burlesque with Cher, which I watched some of. I was a little young when Burlesque came out. I wanted to see it because of Cher, but I was a little young. I watched most of Burlesque recently. I thought it was okay. But Christina Aguilera now has this Christmas in Paris that's in the theaters this weekend, the 30th anniversary of Sense and Sensibility with Emma Thompson. And I'm saving one thing, so hang on. Scarlet, the animated film from Mamoru Hosoda, which I like. I like Scarlet. It's qualifying for its award season run this weekend. If you're a fan of Mamoru Hosoda's films, including Mirai and Belle, go see Scarlet. Dead Man's Wire, one of my 10 favorite films of the year. This is the new film from Gus Van Sant, and it's great. It's really good. It's really compelling, intimate. Coleman Domingo, Al Pacino, and others. It's a very Bill Skarsgård. It's a very good cast. Dead Man's Wire. Awards qualifying run this Friday. It's everywhere in January. Go see Dead Man's Wire. And then we have Ella McKay. Now, I got info that I guess the review or the social media embargo lifted, not the review embargo yet. I think I'm going to wait on full thoughts until the review embargo lifts later this week. I have seen Ella McKay. It's James L. Brooks' new film with Emma Mackey and Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah. It's a movie. It's Ella McKay. It's out this weekend. It'll probably only make a few $1 million. I'll have more thoughts when the official review embargo lifts later this week, but Ella McKay is coming out. And if you're watching Password tomorrow night on NBC, keep your eyes peeled in the crowd. That's all I'll say. I'll have more on that later this week. But that's it for LCJ Live. Golden Globe nominations tomorrow. We'll see what's up for animated feature. Could be the same 6 as the nominees for Critics' Choice. Arco, In Your Dreams, K-Pop Demon Hunters, Zootopia 2, I knew it was Little Amelie, and Elio. Those are the 6. Was happy to see them get nominated as well. Little Amelie, very pleased that got in. I wasn't sure that was going to get nominated. But those are the 6 for Critics' Choice. They could be the 6 for the Golden Globes. And then the Oscar, of course, is only 5. So which one does not get in out of those 6? It's tough to say. I think Arco gets in, especially with the Natalie Portman impact. It was great talking with her and the director of the film. K-Pop Demon Hunters is probably going to win. Zootopia 2 is getting in for sure. I think those 3 are pretty much locks. As far as the other 3, you have Elio, you have In Your Dreams, and you have Little Amelie. I'm thinking maybe Little Amelie gets in, and that we're down to In Your Dreams and Elio, but it's a tough call at this point. We'll have to see as we get further with the BAFTA nominations, which are not going to include K-Pop Demon Hunters due to a release schedule situation. And then the Annie nominations as well and some other things. We'll see what happens, but and maybe something else sneaks in. Maybe Scarlet sneaks in, or A Magnificent Life, both of which are very good. Maybe they sneak in to the Oscars animated feature category. We will have to see. A lot to talk about. A lot happening. Thank you for all the comments. I'm reading for some of these comments about Sirat, Pilion. I've heard of some of these films. I haven't watched everything, but I've seen a lot of the movies for the award season. I'm catching up on a few things. I watched the Rose Byrne movie the other night. Let me say this about the Rose Byrne movie. If I had legs, I'd kick you. It is not a comedy. She may get a Golden Globe nomination tomorrow for comedy. It is not a comedy. I only laughed like twice through the whole thing. It is not intended to be a comedy. So there you go. And Stellan Skarsgård. I saw Sentimental Value back in October. Stellan Skarsgård. It's a lead performance. All right. It's not a supporting performance. It's a lead performance. So there you go. There's some award season thoughts. More will be had next time on LCJ Live. When we're back here, which I believe will be next Sunday for LCJ Live, we will take a look at that Ella McKay box office, which is probably not going to be more than $5 million. I will take the under on that $5 million. I'm thinking 3. I really think it might only do like $3 million next weekend. We'll see what's number 1. We'll take a look at the Ella McKay box office, and we will preview one of the biggest weekends of the year in Avatar: Fire and Ash, David, the SpongeBob Movie Search for SquarePants, and The Housemaid, plus in limited release, Marty Supreme, and Is This Thing On? That is all for the weekend of the 19th, so we're going to preview all of that next time on LCJ Live. I have to watch the Celebrity Family Feud with the Housemaid stars, Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried. That was the other night. That's it. We've talked a lot. We've done a lot. Thank you. Thank you for being here for LCJ Live. And before I go, because I got to do this again, this is, where is it? This is My Very Rocky Christmas. You need a gift for your family? Get it on Amazon. It's a terrific book based on true events from my childhood. Loved making this book happen. It's a great story for the whole family with wonderful illustrations. My Very Rocky Christmas, available on Amazon. All right, that's it. That's today's episode of LCJ Live. Go to all my socials. X at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at Lights Cam Jackson. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll see you next Sunday. I'll see you next time for LCJ Live. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.